All right, let's talk about machine learning. I know it can feel like this huge, intimidating universe. But what if I told you that you could build a genuinely solid, practical foundation in just 1 month? Well, that's exactly what we're going to map out today. An intense, 30-day sprint to get you there.
Look, if you've ever glanced at all the resources out there and just felt completely overwhelmed, trust me, you are not alone. There are so many courses, books, frameworks, it's a mess. The number one question is always, where do I even start? This plan is the answer. It's a straight line, a clear path right through all that noise.
30 days. That's the goal. But let's be real. This is a sprint, not a casual walk in the park. It's going to take a serious commitment. We're talking about 3 to 4 hours every single day. But the payoff? A powerful foundational skill set that will set you up for success.
So here's our game plan for this journey. We'll start with how to gear up for the sprint itself. Then we'll break it down week by week. Week 1 is all about the foundation. Week 2, you build your first models. Week 3, we expand that toolbox. Week 4, we take the big leap into deep learning. And finally, we'll talk about what happens after you cross that 30-day finish line.
Okay, first things first, you can't start a sprint without the right gear, right? So this section is all about getting prepped and making sure you have the essential resources you'll need to actually pull this off.
This right here, this is your toolkit. For the hands-on Python coding, you've got the Python Data Science Handbook. For the core theory, Andrew Ng's legendary Coursera course is a must. And the scikit-learn documentation, oh, that's going to become your new best friend, I promise. For deep learning, the Dive into Deep Learning book is fantastic. And for getting your hands on real projects, Kaggle, that's your playground. These are basically your guides for the next 30 days.
All right, let's dive in. Week 1, you should think of this as boot camp. This is where we build the fundamentals from the ground up. Seriously, everything you do later in your career will be built on the skills you hammer out right here.
So, you'll see we're starting with the super practical stuff, getting really comfortable with Python and its key libraries like NumPy and Pandas. Then we get into the language of ML, which, yes, is math, specifically the core ideas from linear algebra and calculus that make everything tick. And maybe most importantly, you're going to get your hands dirty with data prep, cleaning it, exploring it, scaling it. This stuff is what real data scientists spend most of their time doing.
And this is where the rubber meets the road, right from the get-go. By day 5, you're not just reading theory. Nope. You are analyzing the actual Titanic dataset. You'll be like a detective, hunting for missing information, creating charts to see who is more likely to survive. It's real, practical work from day 1.
Now we're moving into week 2, and this is where the magic really starts to happen. You're going to stop just preparing data and start building your very first models, things that can actually make predictions. This is fun.
And just look at this pace. You kick off the week with simple linear regression. 2 days later, bam, you're onto logistic regression. By day 11, you're already playing with powerful stuff like decision trees and random forests. The momentum here is incredible.
And the whole week builds up to this moment, your first Kaggle competition. This isn't just a practice quiz. By the end of the week, you'll take everything you've learned and throw it at the famous Titanic Survival Challenge, putting your skills to a real test against thousands of other people.
Okay, we're halfway there. Week 3 is all about leveling up. We're moving beyond those initial models and into more powerful, more specialized techniques, the kind of stuff that's used all over the industry. It's time to expand your toolbox.
You're adding some serious firepower this week. You'll learn k-means clustering for finding hidden groups in your data, PCA for making things simpler, and some powerful ensemble methods. But really, pay close attention to XGBoost. That one's a game changer. It's a true industry standard that wins competitions all the time. Getting good with it is a huge step.
Let's just pause on PCA for a second, because this concept is so cool. So imagine your data has like hundreds of different columns. It's messy, it's complex. PCA is basically a technique that helps you boil all of that down to just a few key components, making it way easier for your models to see the patterns without losing all the important info. It's about simplifying without dumbing it down.
And now for the final push. Week 4 is the deep learning leap. This is where we step into the world of neural networks, the incredibly powerful tech that's behind all the modern AI you hear about, from recognizing faces in photos to translating languages on the fly.
You've got a really clear path this week. First, you pick your weapon of choice, either TensorFlow or PyTorch. Then you immediately build your first simple neural network. From there, you quickly level up to training a convolutional neural network, a CNN, to recognize images, and you'll even dip your toes into LSTMs, which are great for handling things like text or data over time.
And it all leads to this, the Capstone Project. This is your grand finale. You get to take every single thing you've learned over the past month, find a problem that you actually care about, and build a deep learning solution from scratch. This is what makes all that knowledge stick.
So, crossing that 30-day finish line is a huge deal. But it's not really the end. It's actually the beginning. It's about adopting a whole new mindset for how you learn and solve problems in this field from here on out.
Man, this slide just nails it. A beginner will just copy-paste some code and run model.fit without thinking twice. But an advanced mindset, that's someone who asks why it works. They dig into the documentation and try to understand what every single one of those parameters does, so they can tune the model perfectly. You're moving from just being a user to being a true practitioner.
And this is how you'll keep growing. As the source material says, Kaggle is your proving ground. It's not just for competing, it's for learning. You go on there, you find a competition, and you look at the solutions from the people who won. It's like looking over the shoulder of the best in the world to see how they do it.
And that's the plan. A clear, intense, but incredibly powerful roadmap to get you started in machine learning. The sprint is over. You've built the foundation. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build next?